Underground World News Live in the house. Back at you guys here once again on this 5/20/2024. Pikeville in the house. All right, thank you for the feedback there, Thorn. Appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you, Mayhem. Much love, everybody out there. Toronto. I hope all is good with everybody here tonight. Thank you, E-Fits. See Venezuela in the house. LA, Boston. Good to see everybody. I hope all is well. We've got plenty to cover here tonight. And I want to start off here with an alert for anyone out there that consumes these popular immune support tea bags. They've been recalled due to possible pesticide contamination. So if anybody out there takes these, if you know anybody that consumes this, they're saying that these pesticides were discovered during routine audit procedures. Nearly 900,000 tea bags. That's close to 1 million. This may go a little further. This is an organic tea brand called Yogi. So, if it rings a bell, might want to look into that. Look into your cabinets. UK in the house. Much love. Yeah, I want to thank everybody that shares the stream, gets it out there as well. Good to see everybody here on this Monday night. And yes, buy organic. We are going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. At this point, Monday and Wednesday over here on YouTube. And I do believe we're live on Kick as well. I added that in. X, D Live. So yeah, heads up there on that. Nothing is safe, it seems. There's always something, whether it's some kind of contamination, crazy contamination, wood chips, metals, glass. Then you get the bacterias, diseases, and all that other stuff. It's like they're doing it on purpose these days. Starting to feel that way. Let's go over here to space real quick. Just get some updates. We were talking about this big sunspot that came around. It ended up being labeled 3685. It has not been shooting off any X flares here in the past couple days. Couple C flares. All the big activity has not been Earth directed. We are under this G1 geomagnetic storm watch. That's about it so far. Another one pops off. Try to drop a video. If anything Earth directed is coming from any of those flares, but more auroras all across the globe. People checking in. This is from Africa. Beautiful skies right there. And let's take a quick look here at something. We're at 2017th. Looking down here to see if we have any incoming fireballs, because apparently we had not just an asteroid, but a comet fragment light up the sky over Spain and Portugal, and they said it was like a movie. On social media, there was several different clips being shared of people just out and about, and then this bright comet lighting up the skies above the people. You can see it right here. Back it up and hit play. Yeah, but rather than saying that it's just not that it's a meteor, they're saying it's not a meteor. It was a small piece of a comet that came in and then broke up. Yeah, so what's up? Salutes right back at you. Much love. Yeah, you guys might want to keep your eyes to the skies these days because it seems like we're having these events more and more. Um, I was looking back at past events with these meteorites. Well, this one was a comet, a fragment of a comet, but these objects coming in from space. We've seen them hit the Earth several times in other countries, leave holes in the Earth. Even here in the United States, on the West Coast, it hit a guy's house here within the past couple of years, burnt up his whole porch. Um, Quite a few years back, there was also one that came down and impacted in China. So these things do happen. And might I add that sometimes, if you can find where these things actually land and get a piece of the meteorite, they're worth some big money. Sometimes they're holding big money, like literal gold, silver, precious metals, things like that, when they impact. I was reading earlier of a big impact event that took place in the past, and there was all kinds of platinum within that impact. And just imagine, even if you're sitting somewhere out there that doesn't have any gold, so they say, in your region or precious metals, at some point in history, a rock could have fell down carrying some precious metals and embedded into your area. So you never know what you're going to find. Here in recent years, they've started to divulge information about how Greenland has a massive indentation in it. And Greenland's like a big mystery. They never talk about it. They just say, oh, it's up there covered in snow. Just kind of forget about it. Ain't nothing much going on there. But there is. With modern technology, they've shown that there was some kind of impact that struck this area. And they say it was somewhere around the 12, 13,000 years ago range, which matches the Younger Dryas event, or we hear people call the mud flood and things of like that nature. Because with this event, it sent ice chunks into the atmosphere that came down in Canada and the United States. There's proof of this, evidence. There's like big gouges in the earth, circular gouges, but there's no rock. And they're saying that this could have only been done by huge chunks of ice that came down, gouged the earth, and then melted. That's why you don't find any rock. And they believe that it's all from this impact. And I think it's pretty interesting because I do believe, from my research, a lot of evidence points to some kind of disaster happening around this time frame. There's a lot of evidence pointing to it. It just keeps stacking up. And yeah, of course, they're not going to tell us everything. But I think that it's pretty interesting when it comes to Greenland. Greenland's pretty crazy landscape. But yeah, this one here coming in was blue and green. I forget exactly what elements those are. I just was looking at an image the other day. They had the different colors, meaning like if it burns green, it's iron or something like that. I had a little chart that I was looking at. So this one burning blue and green. Look that up later and see what all metals was burning up there just by the color. You can tell that. Hydrogen, Carl says. Yeah, if you guys know, I can find it real quick. Yeah, let me know in the chat. And I'll update. Speaking of updates, going to shoot over here to the earthquake map. And no super big activity as of late, but I guess you could say some odd activity. Northern Alaska out in the middle of nowhere up here, not really on a plate boundary. Not sure what's going on there. We did have some rumblings down here off of Alaska. Down here off of the island, Sweet Pea stepping in with 3 coffees. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. It is the best way to support the show. Appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you, FEMA Region 3. If you're real with us. So Smiley. I see some activity around Japan, but it doesn't look like it's anything super major. 5.4s. Go down here toward Papua New Guinea. This is definitely the most active region right here. This is the most active region on the planet when it comes to all this area around Tonga. And then when you get down here toward New Zealand, the action just does not stop. And shout outs to the cats out there in New Zealand. Look at this, just all over the place. Just riddled with these small quakes. It just kind of feels like something may pop off here at some point. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on New Zealand because of that right there. It just seems like an abnormal, super abnormal amount of swarming going on. Yeah. All right. So any other activity pops off, I'll keep you guys posted. Let's go over to this. Why are tornadoes now wrecking parts of the Midwest where we're not used to seeing them? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is weather warfare. It's just like nonstop. They don't ever do anything for the good in terms of weather, and we know they got the technology. Like they can kill tornadoes with the right stuff out there. You don't see them deploying it because they don't want to do it. They could do it. They could do it. They could release some kind of cold bomb right in the heart of it, and it would just dissipate it. It would like kill it. They got all types of technology, and we know they've got things like ionospheric heaters, which can heat up the ionosphere and things like that. So as well as they can fuel a storm, they can kill a storm, they can control storms. They don't do anything to stop anything that pops up. We never see that happening. Anyhow, we go to the tornado map. The reports by state here, you can see that you don't really see a whole lot out west. You get to Colorado, it's got 13 logged. But then when you get into the middle part of the country, that's where it really starts to set in. Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. But surprisingly, look at Ohio here. It looks like they have crept up into this region. Ohio was 66 tornadoes thus far, which is a jump. Yeah, if you're in Ohio, you've been seeing this. Let me know. Yeah, R.I.P. kart racer, Mike Morales. Yeah, I was going through some stuff last night, man. R.I.P. Carolina May. Big Don, BP oil disaster. R.I.P. to all of them, man. Lost so many cats. Just sitting there looking, reflecting back. Seen certain videos, man. It was just crazy. Time's flying. Life's short, man. Yeah, R.I.P. again. Yeah, David Crocco, all of them, man. Yeah, see, the list goes on and on. Yeah, it's sad. But try to remember them the best we can around here. Rep them out here. I know many of them are still with us here in spirit for sure. Fighting the fight is no. But yeah, man, if you guys live in one of these areas seeing an uptick, I would expect to see more of it. We're really just now starting to get into things heating up where I'm at. Well, where I'm at, I'm also in the Appalachian mountain chain, and even though tornadoes hit my state, Kentucky, you can see 27 there in the image. Most of the time, it's from where the 27 is to the west, because once you hit the Appalachian Mountains, it breaks the storms up. You really don't see a whole lot of tornadoes. That's why there's a lot less right over in this region. Mountains break it up. Someone coming through with 3 coffees. Thank you very much. But Texas, man, Texas. No doubt about it. That's the home of tornadoes these days. Again, thank you, someone, for those 3 coffees. I appreciate it to the fullest. Shout out to Tooge, Tacos, all the crew, D. White. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I want to apologize for everybody. I've been trying to send to D Live, and I thought that the replays were free. Apparently, they're making people sub there to see replays. It's ridiculous. I guess just check it out on Rumble or YouTube. I'm live there. Kick now too. Plus X. I mean, it's floating around out there. It's always something stupid, man. I'm telling you what, man. It should be an option, right? We should have the option. But stay safe out there with this crazy weather. I think we're just getting started. And I mean, I think hurricane season is going to be a big one this year too. All right, well, I put a video out on this. If you guys are not subscribed to the YouTube channel Surviving End Times, where I'm live at right now, make sure you subscribe. And also, do me a favor and hit that bell notification. It's almost pointless to subscribe to someone like me and not hit the bell notification. I'm like so censored and everything else. Like, you're not going to get notified unless you like tick off all the stuff to get fully notified. So yeah, there's a reason that bell's there. If you never knew, it's to get notified when I'm going live, so people know. But I put a video out on this U.S. power grid. This is the second time I've updated on it here recently because, things are heating up, like I said, and the top of summer is where you don't want to see the grid go down. It's probably where it's going to happen. You just have a higher chance of it happening there, period, with just everything glitching out because of the heat. Much less someone pulling the plug or people shooting at stations and trying to take them out like we've seen in the past. Remember, in the past few years, we've seen more attacks on substations than we've ever seen in history. People arrested, people shooting at them, all types of different events. I don't think with the record number of invaders in here that that's going to stop or slow down. So what they're saying now is that they believe that 1/3 of our country is at elevated risk for going into blackouts this summer. That's a pretty big chunk. I mean, 1/3. And they say that regions like Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, all those areas, they're at elevated risk based on various factors. But this has to do with low wind, low solar energy inputs, mismanagement of stuff, you ask me. They're not using any coal or gas or anything like that. They're trying to put all their eggs into this green basket, and it's just not working. You got to try something and prove that it's going to work first, or it's going to be a disaster. And we've seen it with the EVs already, and much less trying to put EVs on this grid. Are you kidding me? You're just asking for it to buckle. So as I explained in the video that I put out, our grid is called the North American Power Bulk System, or the BPS. It's made up of 6 different entities or 6 different regions, which is like the Midwest, the MRO, the Northeast, reliability first, the CERC sector, the Texas sector, the Western WEC sector. But then there's also another one that's called the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, or MISO. And this manages the electricity capacity in at least 15 different states, like Texas, Montana, Arkansas, and like in my state, Kentucky. And in MISO, they're expected to have sufficient resources. Now, why would that be? How come all of a sudden those states, these areas have sufficient resources? They should have sufficient resources. Why? I'm telling you, it's because we didn't back down here in Kentucky. I don't know about the other states, but we didn't back down from the fight against the feds about the coal and the gas. So they're still operating here, no matter what they say. And that keeps power going, keeps the lights on, saves lives, and jobs and everything else. When it just seems they're wanting to come in like a wrecking ball and kill it all. Like my state sees the writing on the wall. They do. They've proven to me enough, telling us all we can constitutional carry and that the feds have no backup when they come in here. They're on their own, and that we're not shutting nothing down. Well, guess what? Sounds like fighting words, you ask me. They're standing their ground. And when it comes to this grid getting shut down, I'm not so sure that when the day comes, well, first off, it depends on what happens, but a simple cascading event like we saw last time on the East Coast could take out a large area of the East Coast. Again, different states are managed by different sectors. So some sectors could hold up a little bit better than others. Like I'm trying to tell you right now, this MISO controls 15 states, and those states are going to be in a better position. Luis, thank you for the 3 coffees. Much love, man. See if I seen that right. You said, much love from behind enemy lines. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Stay safe out there. Before I get off this story, I want to point out a couple things here. You guys should probably, if you're looking to try to get off grid, if you're trying to get a backup, again, this comes down to your state. Some states are just absolutely ridiculous with their laws. And some are going to force you that if you get solar, you got to tie into the grid. It's going to be grid tied, where basically you're feeding the government all this power. I don't know. It's when the lights go out, they can leave you in the dark. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And we've already seen it in California. When they implement rolling blackouts and people are sitting there in the dark and they've got solar panels on the roof. That's when you know you've been played. And I'm talking big time. Like in my state, you got solar panels out somewhere and you put them up, whatever, like, that's all you. Like, it ain't got to be grid tied. You ain't got to feed it back. You can if you want, I guess, do the metering. But for people not wanting to mess with it, you ain't got to worry about none of that. Check out here. This is, if you're looking to get off grid, Signature Solar is one of the best places that I know of. They're out of Texas, not China. And they've got quite a few different options, and they got some sales going on. And no, the stuff's not cheap, but if you're someone that's looking to really go off grid and you're targeting that, here you go. Anywhere from around 10 grand, a little less than 10 grand, get you going range 8.5, which really ain't bad for a setup right there. That's 28.6 kilowatt hours of capacity on just a unit. Or you can go full package up here and get one of these packages that got the power set up and it's got all the solar panels with it for like 14, 15,000. Get some racks, set it up. It gets you going. It gets you going. And these are designed for full cabins, full houses, all the way up to like 90 kilowatt hours on some of these. They'll like run a business. They specialize in this stuff. I'm telling you, because our grid is going to go down at some point, and you guys should know this. Here's one. Even if you don't want that, here's one you might like. This really catches my attention. These are off-grid mini splits. This gives you air conditioning. Did that catch your attention? This gives you heat. And it gives you the supply off of solar panels. So you can hook the solar panels up. Let's see, this one's 12,000 BTU. This one over here is 24,000 BTU. So the one that's a little bit more BTU, it simply adds 2 more solar panels. So you set these things out there all day long. You've got AC and heat. It's an option, man. Mini splits are really the way to go, if you ask me, because you can put one of the head units in every room, and everyone can just kind of set whatever temperature they want in every room that way. Instead of someone likes the house cold, freezing everybody else out, or anything else like that. You can control the zones a whole lot better. And like I said, you can run them right off the solar power. To me, that's awesome. They didn't used to have this type of stuff. Okay? They didn't used to have this stuff, especially a decade ago. Set up like this. So this is in the $2,000-$3,000 range. Get you a nice setup here. Get you going off grid completely. And just think about it. Think about it if you've got that. Even as an emergency backup. I see you out there, Ryder. Much love. Just think if you got one as a backup. One of these mini splits with solar panels. The grid goes down. You just set the panels up. This thing's firing up. You've got AC. If you're out there in California where they're blacking everybody out, or any other place, blacking you out while you got the stuff on the roof, you just can't beat this, man. It's an emergency setup, especially in super hot areas, Arizona, or there's places like that. Yeah. This is money to me. Yeah, so check them out, man. Signature Solar. That's a lifeline. And speaking of the power grid, check this out. And I don't know how much you know about crypto, and what it entails. But it consumes a ton of energy, which makes no sense. Why would you ever even go down this path of something that has to consume all this energy just to do what they call mining, just so it can compute? Because that's what it's doing. It's doing all these quick and complicated computations constantly in this mining process. And it's just churning up energy left and right, left and right, left and right. This is why we've seen the Chinese move into certain areas where there's waterfalls, hydro and all this stuff, and they're mining there. Um, Regardless, it takes so much power. You combine crypto full scale with EVs full scale. Our grid will buckle. It can't handle it. It won't handle it. So this may end up being the downfall for the crypto industry. I don't see how it can exist. I don't see how you can continue down this road of burning up this much energy for literally nothing, for a digital nothing. Well, a few tokens you get out of the mining here and there. A few tokens of what? Of nothing. Can you go convert it into gold or silver? No. It's digital nothings that you could wake up actually tomorrow morning and your digital nothing be worth nothing. I don't know how long some of you've been in this crypto game, but I've been in it long enough. I've seen it long enough to know that they'll leave you holding the bag if you don't watch it. And people learn the hard way, I guess. But I don't see how this is probably, to me, how they're going to attack it and try to tear it down. And it's a gimme because it goes right against all their climate stuff. It's not energy saving. So to me, when they try to enforce the CBDC, which is going to be ran on some kind of ledger in a different way, they're going to have all the ammunition they need to take out Bitcoin, all this other stuff, even though they control Bitcoin and all that. Which is, to them, it's a beautiful thing because they control everything. You see, the whole reason crypto got rolled out was to warm the whole world up to blockchain. And to actually trick you and make you think that by using this, you're somehow using some kind of independent mechanism that they can't track. Which they can, because they created it. And it's a trap. It's all a trap. Yes, fiat currency, paper currency that they're printing is worthless too. And it's nothing, right? It's true. It's true. But it is something that I can hold in my hand. And I can keep all of my money, my dollars in my possession. I don't have to keep it in a bank. You can keep them in my possession. And I don't have to wake up tomorrow morning with someone, have robbed me. Like with crypto. You keep it on an exchange and someone can get you. In all this stuff. So, I don't know, man. There's a lot of holes in the crypto game, to me. Not to mention, every move you make is taxed. Talk about trap. Anyhow, Venezuela bans it. I don't see how it's going to ever flourish here. But I guess it's all about who's running things, right? Everyone seems to think get their Trump in there that it'll go back to normal the way it used to be. And that we're going to dive into politics here in just a bit. First off, cryptos ripped today, hit 70,000 on hopes that Ethereum will launch an ETF. This sends gold to brand new record highs. So gold hits $24.50 on spot, as you can see right there. This also sent silver surging back above 32 for the first time since 2013. Look, it broke it. They broke 30. They broke that 30 ceiling. Dude, you better watch out. I've been telling you about this for the longest time. Hey, dude, don't you ever mention that dude's name, man. It's forbidden in here. We live in a psyop. Mention that troll's name in here again, you're banned. Forever and ever. No, but for real, don't you ever mention his name again. That's what I'm saying. Tinfoil. That's what I was saying. Like, Dude's the scam of scammers, man. What's he down in the islands hiding out with his daddy? I know him. I used to, dude. I've been in this game a long time. Like I personally know him better than any of you will ever know him. Okay, better run for the hills. Yeah, him and the fake pastors out there, Beggins, or what whoever, all these clowns out here, man, make me sick. They really ain't about truth. I see them doing their thing though. They're out there shilling. All right, let me go here to Alabama, jumping on the bandwagon. Better late than never, I guess. Abolishing the income taxes on gold and silver. Um, Alabama joining a growing number of states. I'm not sure the exact number; they don't list it here, but I know that it's quite a few now. Now my state has made the move as well. I think in August it goes into effect here. That's how it should be. Most of the places are seeing that gold and silver is the real money, and that money needs to be recognized. I mean, your Constitution tells you that this is what you use for money, the gold and silver. All these constitutionalists that they're this and that, First Amendment, Second Amendment. I must have forgot about all this. People just cherry pick what they want anyway, it seems. Want to point out real quick the top 10 states here with the lowest real GDP growth. So you're talking about not doing good. Number one is Delaware, negative 1.2%. Number two is Wisconsin, which doesn't bode well for what's going on there right now. Remember RNC being held up there. Then New York, then Mississippi, then Georgia, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Ohio, Iowa, and Illinois. So those are the places economically where things are hitting the hardest. They're not doing good. Now, I pray, I hope I can get up and get coverage in July for the RNC. Well, I said every time I look over, I see somebody say, "You can't eat gold and silver." Yeah, I know that. Did somebody say you could? Did somebody out there say you could? You actually can in nano form. Um, not trying to be a smart ass, but you actually can in nano form. But no, you can't eat gold and silver. Obviously not. But what you can do is you can trade it for gold or for food. Actually, it doesn't matter what it is that you got. You better hope that your neighbors will trade for it. We spend a lot of time talking about things that you could potentially use, but you really need to check with your community, your neighbors, those around you. Because if they ain't accepting it, then what's it worth, right? So yeah, that's what it's really all about. All my neighbors, majority of them here this evening, they're out there in their gardens, everybody till dark, doing their thing. Good thing to be doing right now, getting gardens going. Check this out. I wanted to mention this. Maybe you just stay away from Bally's in Atlantic City and not even go to this place. But it's a ripoff. I'd be pissed off, and I think anybody would, if you was a 72-year-old man, and or a person, and you hit a jackpot in a casino, and then they come to tell you. Actually, it doesn't matter how old you are. They come and tell you that it was a technical glitch, and that you're not getting any money. What? What? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I was reading this and like, dude hauled off and just started bucking on people. Um, it's like, what? You just basically robbed him. I mean, that's just, It's ridiculous. I mean, they could do that at any time and tell you, oh, it was a technical glitch. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen, but man, these places specialize on taking your money. So, yeah, just wanted to call them out. That's a shady Bally's. You don't do that to people. I wouldn't be going to Bally's. I'd be going somewhere else. If you're in Atlantic City, I don't know. Does Trump still have places down there? I don't know if he does or not. Well, check this out. Skyrocketing food prices prompting many Americans to stock up on long-term storage beef. Basically, the way that I see it is if you can get your hands on things and you can preserve it, it doesn't hurt. To learn to preserve things, to learn to can, things like that, they're good things to know. Um, Especially if you come across some meat. I mean, if you're in a crazy situation, I tell you now, just growing up the way that I've grown up, my dad and them, they grab a gun, they go out, get a deer, and they'll be tenderizing that meat. They'll be making jerky out of it. They'll be doing all kinds of stuff. And I don't know, man. I feel like that we're moving into a time frame that like maybe by like 2030. It's scary to think, but these goons keep at this pace for 5 6 years. They're already attacking our food supply. You know, look what they did in Texas, the fires, the herds. Look what they just said about the dairy cows being very low. Yeah, I'm not on Rumble tonight, Dan. That's why. I'm exclusive over here on YouTube Monday and Wednesday. Not on Rumble. Only on Fridays. And yeah. Can only listen on D Live. Much love. Well, hey, thank you. Shout outs to Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Y'all stay safe out there. And I don't know, man. I see all this stuff with the meat, and I see it. I think it. Not only did it make me mad, but like, I don't know what it did to me. When I went into that Sheets, man, and I come to find out that they're serving, non-meat, passing it off as meat. It's a lawsuit, man, and like I don't know, it ticks me off, but it's scary because it shows you how far they've already advanced with this crap. What's even scarier is the people that are going in and not even questioning it, consuming it, and then getting used to it, and just thinking that that is what a burger should taste like. Um, it's scary, man. What they're doing out here isn't right. They should have to label all this stuff. I thought there was laws in the books for labeling. Oh, maybe that's just on the shelves. There needs to be laws on the books for these stores, though, like Sheets that are selling non-real meat, so people know. But the food price is going to continue to go up. I feel like meat and all that's going to get attacked more and more. It's the name of the game, man. It definitely isn't going down under Bidenomics. I was looking at the numbers across the board earlier, and they are, man, 20, 30% on everything. It's bad. One thing that's also running here is gold in the metals. They advertise how to eat cicadas. Yeah, cicadas are out there, man. It's good fishing bait. I'd use it for the fishing bait, eat the fish. Copper running. Man, oh man. Gold's running, silver's running, nickel's running. Copper is all over the place throughout society. I'm telling you, the thugs are about to have a day any moment now. You know, so as soon as somebody's like, ring, ring, hello, like, yo, dude, I got this lick. What do you mean? It's over. Jay from the Ville in the house. How you? D White says disgusting. Like I said, I'd use some fish bait. Eat the fish. You could even use the fish for bait for something else, for some other animal to eat that. I would not be eating the cicadas. Things are evil as hell looking to me. The big red eyes. But yeah, they're out causing problems. So y'all watch it. Because they can get thick. I've seen them in my life. They can get thick. They want y'all to eat them. Well, that's pretty crazy. They're running that on the news. They want y'all to eat them. Like, they shove that crap. Yeah, well, all the metals are seeming to rise right now at once. Yeah, that's kind of what's crazy about it. They're buying it up. The central banks are left and right. I wanted to point out here this article as well, that because of the tariffs that we're putting on Chinese imports, because of what you may be looking forward to buying or anything like that, anything with a semiconductor in it is going to be going up. Solar cells going up. You can see electric vehicles. The new rate, 100% tariff on them coming in from China. You're talking steel, lithium ion batteries, battery parts, medical gloves, other critical minerals, all going up 25%. There was no tariff at all on them. Like natural graphite, permanent magnets, there was none on it. Ship to shore cranes, things like that. But now, across the board, they're still 25% on all of it. So expect things to go sky high. Anyone that's got any product that's being manufactured in China, big screen TVs, electronics, I don't care what it is. These batteries, that's why I told you earlier, if you're looking to go solar and off-grid, it best not be Chinese. Because if we go to war, you're not getting any components. Heck, they're going to tariff the crap out of it. We now got fears of our undersea cables getting clipped by the Chinese. So, with all these things happening here on the world stage, this is definitely a setup. Don't you ever forget that. But now they're saying that the Chinese have been going right over these undersea cables and they're turning off all their stuff and they're going dark. This tells me, man, and I don't know. They could get us a lot of ways. They clip these cables, our communications down. One of the first things you do in a state of war is you take down the enemy's communications. They don't even have to EMP us. They could just cut the cables on the ocean floor, and then we're all just done right there until somebody gets out there and fixes them. And then what? They run up on subs and warships into a trap, maybe. I don't know. But they're accusing China of operating in this area, basically, thinking that they're up to something like that. Now, we also seen some off the coast of Israel in the Mediterranean get messed with in the past. I don't know, man. It's just another way to put us in the dark, if you ask me. So just a heads up on it. And we got an update to the port that collapsed or the bridge that collapsed at the port in Baltimore. They're saying that the container ship blocking the port has been refloated and moved after nearly 2 months. So we were wondering how long it was going to take. It was going to jam everything up, but apparently that boat refloated and moving all this stuff out of the area. So at least it wasn't that big of a disaster, where it started to really take a toll economically and things like that. But I hope it taught us a lesson here that you got to really look at where things are situated, because if one key bridge goes down, like it did, you can cause a conundrum. And it had some of our military vessels locked into the port. It stopped anything from going in and out for a while. And to me, it was also strategic because of the Francis Scott Key, freedom and everything else going down. Colleen, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that to the fullest. So, an update to that, some progress being made, and another update. Julian Assange. He wins a high court victory in temporary reprieve from extradition to the United States. So, a high court in London ruled that he can appeal this extradition to the U.S. This is basically going to be his last chance to challenge this before they do it. Of course, the United States gets him. Who knows what they'll do? I don't know, man. The whole Julian Assange thing, I personally was never a big fan of him. I was just, I know how these goons operate, man. I don't trust them. Let me put it this way. I definitely do not trust Edward Snowden. Julian Assange, I don't know. There was so much that he's going through here. It tends to lean toward there's a bit of legitimacy, more legitimacy to him than there ever was with like a Snowden or someone like that could have just been a government plant. Double agent, if you will, get him into Russia like they did. And, they really wanted Snowden or shut him up. I mean, they don't make moves on him. The dude's tweeting every single day. All types of crap. It's crazy. He's at tweeting, dropping all this information, all this stuff. Here, Julian Assange is all hemmed up. In this, with Assange, I don't know. I thought it was, you see his girlfriend here or whatever, or his wife. It's crazy because he was getting visits. Don't you guys remember? He was getting visits and his girlfriend up with Pamela Anderson. So, I don't know. I had so many questions about a lot of those things. Like, why is Pam even getting up in there was she wearing a wire or, she working for the feds? Like, they really friends? Like, what's going on here? But then, that got dropped. And now this girl, Stella Assange, is all over the place. So, I don't know, man. If he's innocent, then God let him loose. But in this evil world, I just don't see it happening. You should be able to... I don't know. What do you think's going to happen out here when you go against one of these governments like this? What do you think is going to happen? How far do you think you can run? You definitely can't go hanging out in a country that is buddies with the countries that you're fleeing. You just can't. They're going to snatch you up and they're going to do this. They're going to try to extradite you. Look what happened to my man, and another rest in peace, John McAfee. They had him. They were supposed to be extraditing him back. and he never made it out alive. He never made it out alive. He knew they were coming to get him. He even got a tattoo that said "whacked" on him. I mean, dude, come on. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Assange. Bit of a soap opera, but I'm going to move it on to the Congo. We have American and foreigners alike both getting arrested in a deadly coup attempt that took place in Congo. And what's crazy here is they've got Americans and they've got their passports and they've got everything on them. And you can see them right here. They got Canadian and an American right here on the ground. And it's like, oh, dude, they're busted. They're smoked. They're smoked. They got them. They got their stuff. So we are in there meddling around in Congo trying to cause a coup. It was a coup attempt. And a shootout went down and they stopped it. Normally the feds and CIA and all these guys that go in here and they do these coups. They usually pull them off. It's not too often that they're not that successful. It's usually some time later. There may be an uprising, which we've seen as well, to try to oust their puppet that they put in. But they weren't having it here in Congo. They seen it coming a mile away somehow, some way. So start cracking into the bigger news here. Top of the hour. Real quick, a NOTAM sparks confusion off the coast of California, and people were saying, because of the verbiage on here, that this was Russian missile test, that they will be doing hypersonic missile tests 40 miles away from California. You can see right here the account that said it, and these other ones that were wrong because they read it wrong. It says the Russian Federation plans to conduct rocket firings impact area within this region. So these people that didn't really know any better took that as rocket firing. So they're firing missiles, weapons right here off the coast of California. So they took it. Uncommon news. Good to see you, my brother. Thank you for that. What this actually is a heads up that a booster rocket that's going to be fired is going to fall off of a launch that they just had and come down in this region. They've got this marked off all the way through the 26th. Okay? So this is in place till the 26th. Anything could come raining down in this region. It could hit land too. I mean, doesn't have to be here, but this is, I guess, where they suspect it's going to happen. But this is also a very interesting area that has a lot of history. Off the coast of Los Angeles out here, these islands underwater, under all this. Very, very suspect that it's here. That's going to be falling there of all places on the planet. Anyhow, I just wanted to update on that. Now, let's get into the bigger news here of the past couple of days. We have Iran's president that has apparently went down in a helicopter crash in the mountains of Iran, near Azerbaijan. Now, initially, I seen this breaking, And I tell you what, the disinformation and all the stuff out there that gets kicked around is just crazy. Even the stuff that was floating around on main sites, big sites. Because I sat there and I watched the initial ones that I seen were saying that he was dead, and it was early still when they were saying this. But then others came out from like Sputnik and places like that, and they were saying that um, their ministry is saying that no, they they're not dead. That it was just a hard landing. And I even read a report that the president, prime minister, all the main people even continued on via vehicles, via the land from where they landed. It was a hard landing, as they were saying. But then the next thing you know, everything shifts and goes back the other way to the original, that they're dead. Of course, you have to wait until there's some kind of proof. You keep hearing this, and then all of a sudden they're saying, all right, they're thinking it crashed in the mountains in the fog. And I think they got a clip. Oh, here it is, right here. This is it. Right here. Now, to me, honestly, I don't know why, ever, in a mountainous region, especially in bad weather or in the fog, you are not automatically flying above the mountaintops. You know the altitude, you know the height, you know where you need to be. Get there immediately. You're in a helicopter. You can go straight up. Get there. Get to that height, then proceed forward. There's safety things that should be done that if followed, some things would not happen. This is a little bit different than driving somewhere, man. Like, oh, I got to get to this place, this location. We got a meeting. And you're driving through storms or something like that. No. This is flying through thick fog in the mountains of Iran. And these are ancient mountain ranges as well. This is ancient territory, what we're talking about right here, to be honest with you. All this is. So, they located the crash site up here, and they've now said for sure that the president, everybody on board, dead. And a lot of propaganda being spun off both ways, for and against, whatever. Speculation as to did they hit it with a missile, did they take it down, all these things. Unless we see some kind of damning evidence coughed up by someone somehow. Really, a lot of this, if you've seen the weather and the fog and everything in that area, you can see why they crashed. It reminds me a lot of Kobe Bryant. He died pretty similar way in the fog in a helicopter. And again, you get high enough above anything around you, you're good. That's what I would do in a helicopter. You can't change anything, but he's gone, and in the midst of this, you got people out there saying he was a butcher of whatever. The Mossad said it was not us. They said that he's a man that had a lot of blood on his hands. Whatever. He's got his own history. And they have, where is the name? All right. Vice President Mohammed Mokhber has assumed interim duties in the wake of the president's death. Additionally, Iran's nuclear negotiator, Ali Bagheri, has been named the acting foreign minister. Um, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei assuring the public that there would be a continuity and stability in the nation's leadership, but then they go on to say that it was because of the United States sanctions that this aircraft was in poor condition, and that it's our fault because of this, because of Trump era stuff that we put on them. They're trying to the sanctions. They're trying to say that the United States is responsible for the crash. Exactly what they're saying right there. Exact words. So Peter K, thank you for that. I appreciate it to the fullest. So I mean, dude. I mean, just flat out. Now, Iran's president's dead, and they're blaming us for it. Yeah, that is right there. You know, grasping for straws. You know, saying stuff like that. I don't know, man. This could have some implications to it that people were not expecting. This could ramp things up. Things could shift. You know, when a major leader like this on the world stage gets killed and gets taken out, especially Iran. Come on, the leader of Iran. Come on, they suspend the boogeyman, the final stage boogeyman on the list the whole time. Down Iran. Always, well, he didn't have to do anything, and top leadership gone. From what it looks like thus far. But they have a brand new acting. You know, it's just like the United States, though. A lot of these countries are. In terms of the leadership, it's not what you think it is, or what the sheep out there think it is. You know, they think, oh, president's calling the shots like Biden and running the country. No, he's not. Most of us all know it's the establishment that's running it. So it doesn't matter if one single person goes down. The whole establishment is still operating the same way. You see? The rest is a puppet show, man. Rest is a puppet show. But I find it kind of crazy that here in this past week, there was an assassination attempt against the Saudi Crown Prince. Erdogan has emergency meetings talking about a possibility of a coup, an assassination attempt on the Slovakian PM, Robert Fico. I mean, dude, they got a whole list of crap here. I mean, it's just crazy. Oh, the nigga wanted to say that the Saudi Crown Prince has now abruptly canceled his Japan trip. He has health concerns. He is suffering a life-threatening illness. 88-year-old monarch. He's in fragile condition. He's the son, and his son, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. MBS has been de facto ruler for many years. So they're saying that he's not doing good. This could shake things up as well. He's being treated for lung inflammation right now. High temperatures and joint pain. So, hey, no one lives forever, man. But in terms of shaking this stuff up here, and God has his ways, you know what I'm saying? He's like, look, this ain't all on you. I could do what I take them back when I want to. You know. In the meantime, with this, they say that they found this. They found the crash using one of Turkey's advanced drones. So they dispatched this drone, and it was able to pick up the heat signature and all of everything that they were looking for and track it down rather quickly. Spartan, in the house, man. Israel's cabinet fracturing as the top ministers are threatening to quit. At the same time, the International Criminal Court is issued warrants after the leaders of Hamas and Benjamin Netanyahu. Crazy. You telling me within 24 hours, within the same day of the announcement of Iran's president being killed, they're issuing an International Criminal Court arrest warrant for Netanyahu? Like, that raises eyebrows right there. Like, hold on. Yeah, I told you, puppet show. So I don't know. It is nothing but a puppet show, as far as I can tell. And this Hamas leader, the U.S. is saying they're focused on hunting him down. This Hamas chief, Yahya Sinwar, he does not use any type of regular communications. He operates all off-grid, running in tunnels that are deep underground. And they're trying to get a hold of him. It's like a bombing, obviously. Dude, they're trying to say that they want to talk peace. It's time to talk peace, and it's like, man. So who's going to be the one to come up with this peace plan? Full scale. Everyone's tried it. Even Trump tried it. Didn't make it happen. It's not to say he can't come back and make it happen, but Xi Jinping's trying his hand. And the cables and everything that were cut in the Red Sea and everything that was going on before, the ships getting hit, us not being able to go in and out of there without getting shot at. Well, the U.S. is going to try to change this. They're sending a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier into the Red Sea. This is going to shake things up. This does shake things up. Sending the USS Harry Truman, nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, into the area. It's got 6,000 sailors. And it's loaded. It's loaded with all the jets. It's got firepower. It's got an armada that will go with it, that will float in here. So we could see all kinds of big ships rolling up in here around the Truman. I mean, this is just the centerpiece. But keep an eye on this, because to me, this is like, we've seen what history's done. They sink an aircraft carrier or something like that out there, they would see that as being one of the most victorious things ever. It symbolically would be huge. And, since the whole thing has been popping off over there, at least 20 ships have been damaged in the Red Sea. So, somebody's got to do something. Let's shift it over to Ukraine. Would you believe that today, Vladimir Zelensky is officially really not the president of Ukraine? It's kind of crazy. His time's up. He's reached his expiration date. And he's in a difficult situation. What do they do? What does the whole place do? He retains his position, however, because no elections can be held in the country because of the current state of martial law. He is their de facto leader. Wow. You see how this is going? They say even for Ukraine to hold an election, well, first off, Putin says, we're not even talking or dealing with anyone unless they're a legitimate leader. And the only way that you can do that is to have legitimate elections. And to do that, you've got to rebuild your infrastructure, and that's going to take time. So basically, there may be some kind of negotiations in the offing in the air, at least what it's going to seem like it. Who knows? They could drop nukes behind that, or big bombs. Russia's saying it's going to take time, and they're willing to do something, but it's got to be with a leader that the people actually vote for. Man, oh man. That's just going to drag this thing out forever. This dude continues to be their leader. They're sending young men off to get just meat grinded all the time, every day. It's sick. It's horrifying. But Macron proposes a truce with Russia at the Olympics, an Olympic truce. I guess over because it's being held in Paris 2024. So I guess he's trying to play peacemaker here, Macron. And Zelensky rejects it. So many people have stepped up trying to play peacemaker on some of these war fronts, and it's like they're not having it. The war machine is the war machine. That's crazy. All right, so we have Ted Cruz coming back home with this one. Ted Cruz urging all the alphabet gangs to investigate whether foreign adversaries are behind what you want to call these. They call them, what is it? It's a pro-Palestinian or Gaza war protest, whatever it is. The same groups of individuals. I think Ted Cruz and company already know the answer to this. So again, it's a puppet show, and he's playing into it. It's just like with Greg Abbott down there in Texas, the governor is supposed to be this Republican, is supposed to be blah, 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 all this. What does he do with all the people coming across the border? He sends them deeper into the country, into the interior, into other cities, helping to facilitate it, not rejecting them. These goons, man, they're playing both sides of the aisle. I've told you this for the longest time. It's a left-right paradigm. And until you see that for what it is, you're never fully there. You're never fully awake and seeing it for what it is. Rothschild has controlled the money behind both sides of every major war thus far and right up to this very moment. So who's behind the Gaza war protests and all this? Wow. We already know this. Ted already knows this. So he's playing. It's stupid. He's already made comments showing us that he's known this in the past. His statements about George Soros and others. So really, they're just playing the show, man. But, as this one says, billionaires are funding the protest. That's who. You're living under a rock there, Teddy. It's the same billionaires that are funding the protest that are donating millions to the Dems. Oh, you kidding? No. This is how it works. This mafia dude right here, he's got so much money, he's paying off all the Dems, all the politicians, and he's sending the foot soldiers in to do all the dirty work. Like Scarface or something. Straight up. So, the House Dems taking all this money from him while he's cutting checks to the protesters. I mean, dude, if we can figure this out, how come you can't, Teddy? Well, I know they know who's doing this. I know they know. It's a show. And I don't put in any faith in any of them that they're going to do anything to stop this. For real. It's all a show. So you shouldn't either. You're just fooling yourself. And that's not smart. That's not good. No. Not doing it. It's not happening. I ain't falling for none of them. None of it. We see who's funding this. Why isn't George Soros getting visited by the feds? They're going after everybody else and their mama. From Weinstein to Cosby to P. Diddy. Like, why not him? Les Wexner. Huh? Why not these guys? How come they're not getting visited? Because they're the boss hogs, man. Can't you see? They're literally like the untouchables up in here. You know Soros lives in New York, right? He's right here. He can be served for treason. Again and again and again, but yet it never happens. Why not? Why not? We can sit here and talk about it all the time, but what nothing ever happens. He should see his day in court and be questioned for a ton, but, they throw money at it, they get away with it. Now, if that isn't one of the biggest problems you've ever heard of that we're facing, being sold out from within, openly. What about being invaded openly? Yep, that's what's happening. I told you in the last show, the Chinese alone have seen a 7,000% increase. That is insane. Knowing the numbers where they were already at in the thousands, to see a 7,000% increase on top of thousands, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's like nobody cares. It's hard for me to believe that, like, no one down there cares. On that border, Arizona, California, Texas. Man, I know deep inside, it's got to bother, and something's got to be happening inside the minds and hearts of these individuals to protect our country, and have to sit here and watch this invasion, especially foreign military or anything like that. Like, what is this doing to like? I'm hoping that, like, dude, they're mounting up and they're getting together, but you got to understand, this is treason at the highest levels. This doesn't stop until the top command makes it stop. It's not stopping. And more than half of U.S. voters want the illegal immigrants rounded up and kicked out. New polls showing this. More than half. 56 support the deportation of illegal immigrants. Then it goes on and it says, do you support the detention camp for those awaiting deportation? This is where it gets in choppy waters. 36 said yes, 54 said no. I guess realizing and seeing exactly what I just told you, that you're going to feel comfortable putting your stamp of approval on any kind of detention camp in this country, knowing that just 6 months from now it could be holding you. Yeah, this place is pretty whacked right now. Because outside of that, if it we're going to flip it and house you, then I would say that it'd be 100% like, yeah, hold them and get them out. Hold them and get them out. You got to house them, hold them somewhere before you deport them, right? I mean, detention camp, jail cell, whatever you want to call it, like, you got to hold them in custody to kick them out. So I don't, I guess the biggest thing is seeing that they say detention camps. And I'll be honest with you, those words jump out at me, and you have to keep your eyes open. They set up these detention camps for border invaders, and we're all about it. Next thing you know, the border invader thing, they just let it melt away, but the camps are still sitting there. So who's going to go in them then? All right. Well, Biden has helped push this whole thing. And this is comical. This dude only has a couple dozen people at best show up at his events, and it's super low energy. Super low energy. And, Trump's packing stadiums, ball fields, 85,000 people right there in this field in Wildwood when Trump was there. I mean, dude, you can't deny that he has got the larger voter base. And if you just open your eyes, you can see it. We had graduates at this all black Morehouse College turning their back on Biden during his speech. I mean, like, does the dude even make any sense when he's talking anyway? But they turned their back on him. Many of them did, and refused to applaud. So I'm not going to play this one. I got another one I'm going to play here in just a second. But first, there's 7 states here that are most likely to flip in this race between the two of them. We're just going to have to watch this. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada is going to be key. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, as always, and Wisconsin. Those are the 7 states most likely. They're going to be major battleground states. Let's put it that way. And 2 new swing state polls show why Biden is desperate to debate Trump. It's because he's down everywhere. It just shows it right here. He is just down everywhere. All them places I just told you, like Trump runs them all except for in Wisconsin. And I find that interesting because Wisconsin's not doing good economically, as we looked at earlier. And this is where they're having the RNC. So that's going to be interesting. All these people come out to shout down Trump at the RNC. I don't know. Let's see here. So I'm going to show you the latest bit of Biden. This guy's such an embarrassment that if you were to let him talk off of the teleprompter, this is what you get, what you're about to see and hear. And I'm going to preface it for you. He basically is telling the audience that he was vice president during a pandemic, which he was not. Now that you know that, just listen.
And when I was vice president, things were kind of bad during the pandemic. And what happened was, Barack said to me, go to Detroit and help fix it. Well, poor mayor, he spent more time with me than he ever thought he was going to have to. God love you.
I mean, dude is up there yelling at the mic. I mean, it's just, it's embarrassing. It's pathetic. I've never seen this country and this state. It's the laughing stock. I mean, even the way this dude's laughing at him. Can't even hold it in. He can't even get it straight. A dude that some people sit here and they say, well, he lies about this, he lies about that. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that this guy is that coherent. I honestly think this is his mental status right now. It's all over the place. It's bad. It's the worst I've ever seen. Can't imagine 4 more years. There's no way. Not just about how things are being ran, but just the way this dude is functioning. Let's just start right there. The way he walks, looking like he crapped his diaper. The looks on his face, the way he responds, the lies that he tells all the time about Scranton and his uncle that went down and this got ate by cannibals, and apparently that never happened. And all this stuff, dude. We go on and on. It's pathetic. It's ridiculous. And this is your leader. Everyone's just trying to hold on, hoping they can get in this election. They get their old way of life back. You better hope they don't throw the false flag, false whatevers. out there in the midst of all this because, dude, I don't know. I just don't trust nothing right from here on out. Yeah, not mine either, Wayne. Well, Trump highlights that the Second Amendment is going to be vital against this illegal immigration crisis. He's basically saying, arm up. And speaking to, with the NRA backing and all this stuff, the wave of people coming in here, if you do not know, Trump he's making it part of his big, promise. They always have a handful of promises. And he's saying that he's going after the cartels. Big time. He's going after them. Blah, blah, blah. Last I checked, he never got Hillary. Yeah, he's going to go after all these guys down here with guns and hiding in bushes when she can be found at her mansion. And served. He's going to send down top tier 1 assassins to deal with these guys. You know what they're warning now? That if he does this, if he gets in here and he does this, he actually pops off this war and starts assassinating cartel members and all this other stuff, what it's going to do is it's going to ignite them to strike here on our soil. Revenge attacks and all this. And then they go on saying here that, when you mix in all these, like all the migrants coming, the Chinese, working with the cartels, like, how are you going to, dude, that's a pretty formidable army in itself right there. The cartels, the Mexicans, they know that terrain better than anyone. You come in with Chinese, Russian weaponry like we've seen for years now, and they're backing. They can be loaded up over there. Absolutely loaded up. I'm telling you what, man, this is such a setup. I just feel like if he starts taking people out, which, certain things do need to happen, it's definitely going to spark some other things. But look, man, they're coming across in droves, and we need to be sending them out in droves. You understand? Regardless, it starts with rounding them up and getting them ejected. The illegal ones that are criminal here to do harm and do bad, they know it. They know it, man. The same DHS that came out with the FBI and just warned the whole world, LGB, whatever, everywhere, watch it. They can attack you. Blah, blah, blah. The same ones that warn of all these people they're going to attack are the same ones catching and releasing them. They could stop all this. What are you warning about? You should just be saying, hey, we can't stop none of this. They won't let us. So just get ready. All these dudes are coming in, fucking blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. Who's going to save the day at this point? If no one's got the kahunas to make a stand at the border right now, who's going to and when? Huh? Who and when? Never. If they can't do it right now and won't do it right now, when are they ever going to do it, man? Again, I don't get it, man. Hey, Peter, thank you again. All right, man. Well, in terms of Trump here, speaking on him, it looks like a lot of these lawsuits to attack him, try to bring him down, have just been getting diced up. And this one here, when they try to bring in this Michael Cohen as some kind of witness, oh man, this turned the opposite way that they wanted. This guy was proven to be a liar. And then he admits to stealing like $50,000, $60,000 off of Trump. And then they're like, oh crap. Yeah, they probably should be like, oh crap. Who knows? Maybe this dude was paid by Trump to go in and do all this just to throw it all off. He is a fixer. This dude is. So either way, this should get Trump out of all this. I think what most people want to see is that there's just something free and fair in terms of elections, like they are. Come on, man. Okay. This brings me down to the last thing that I'm going to speak on here for this evening. Well, two things here I'll touch on real quick. Well, we have an alert here real quick, and thank you, D. White. A warning on our water infrastructure and people trying to attack it, which is not good. Again, when you got all these people in here doing this, doing anything they want, not good. And for what it's worth, the chairman of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC. You guys ever hear like the company, that bank is backed by the FDIC? Well, the chairman of the FDIC is resigning abruptly. Interesting. What could be going on there? Thank you for those updates. Brings me to final bit of talk here. Final subject here. The black cat. If you guys missed it, the Vatican has done, well, they're always doing some suspicious things, but this is like super suspicious, and it's all about timing. And here on this past Thursday, for the very first time since 1978, so this is longer than I've even been alive, they held a press conference talking about UFOs, aliens, and apparitions, and how to discern between them. That's what all this talk is. So this is a big deal. These new guidelines. Because when you dig into this and you look, well, even the Pope was caught, and he's on record as saying that when they come here, that they too can, worship, and get baptized and all this other stuff. They too, that they don't have to just be, wandering around doing whatever. They can worship what we worship. He's opening the door to any of these aliens that want to be baptized. Do you hear what I'm telling you? The freaking Pope, right now in this day and age, is saying these things. If they just held this meeting, they have not done this my entire life. So many say, look, something huge is about to happen. And they go on to say here, the Vatican seems to be quite ready to welcome aliens as their new best friends, and that's extremely unfortunate. Oh, yeah, it is. Because they're not aliens. They're not what everyone's thinking. It's not whatever your History Channel and big hair dude is trying to brainwash you into thinking. That's for sure. No, dude. These are of the fallen. These are of the fallen. and even like the Greys, created by them as worker bees. Demons, if you will, in the flesh. Um, you got to remember this. There's a yin to every yang, okay? You see how much evil there is? You see how much evil there is here? Everywhere. It's in everywhere. Down to these creepy beings, into the churches, it's everywhere. The politicians, the people's leaders, it's everywhere. So you know the evil's real. There's the opposite to everything. You can never forget that. That one simple thing. Knowing how real evil is, and that there's an opposite to it, because there's an opposite to every atom. And these are facts. You ain't even got to be religious. It shows you right there, if you got a brain, that there's an opposite to this evil that exists. And that should give you some satisfaction in knowing that. If you're intelligent enough to compute it and to know it, to be consciously aware. It's not just these evil things here. They've been here the whole time. They've told us this. It's written. They landed on Mount Hermon. They came into the women of this planet. They bore giants called the Nephilim. They've never left. Even after God flooded the place, wiped the planet out, they were still here. It is written. Even one of Noah's sons, his wife was snake worshiper. The reptilian bloodline. Like, what do you really know? They've been here the whole time. They are the tares. And they're going to come back and burn them up out of here. It's written. It's prophesied. The wheat and the tare. What do you think it is? Never forget this, good guys and gals that are higher beings that are here blended in as well, doing work. Never forget that neither, because you never know who you're standing in front of, who you're putting in work in front of, who's watching, who's who. Telling you, man. So this thing with the Vatican, it raises some red flags with me. As far as I can tell, when this happens, the Vatican and the Pope and all them, they're prepared. They're ready for this. T-Rex says the Euphrates River's last drop dried up today. What? Give me some. I need a link on that. I gotta verify that. Like, there's biblical implications with that. Like, yeah, I need some proof on that. Not to say you ain't right, but I'd love to see it. I'd make it official, air it out, and I'd even do a video on it. Throw it out there. Miss Angie, all angels here are bad. Angels are not bad in my book. Not when I'm talking angels and demons. I have to differentiate between the two. There's definitely a distinctive difference between the two. Okay, of good and bad. That's how I'm seeing them. But I get it. Yeah. All the angels here, as you say, are fallen, right? Yeah. So that's how I'm seeing it. This is the good and the bad here. That's the whole fight here. The light and the darkness. This duality that we're in. I feel like a great show is about to happen. There's deception everywhere. They're wanting to get this temple put up. I would keep eyes on that. Soon as that temple starts to go up, the one that goes and sits in it, you better watch out. Um, things gonna go into motion real quick as that all goes down. But man, I'd be watching cities like Damascus at this point, which gets hit with missiles out of nowhere all the time these days. You know, the day that you wake up and it's gone, you're living out of a page of the Bible. Specifically, you can turn right to it and be like, I'm there. Like this day, it happened this day. It is this day. I'm living in it. And that's going to be a surreal moment for many. But it's coming sooner than later, I feel. Let's hope some kind of peace here globally is found. But as it's written, this false peace is going to get laid out there. And I guess we're just going to have to buckle up and wait and see what happens here. Now, Eon coming in. Man, thank you. 5 coffees there checking in. I appreciate that to the fullest, man. EOA and Eon, yeah. Much love. Yeah, because I've been watching the stories on the Euphrates for a long time, and I know that some of the places were talking about shutting off water flows in the past. So, yeah, that stuff is stuff to watch. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna yeah, spoiler alert, God wins. That's right. My best advice to anyone out there is to walk righteous. Do good. Walk righteous, do good. It sounds and seems so simple, but I mean, who can do it? There's a lot to it. Means changing your ways for a lot of people. Ways of which a lot of people just don't want to do. You know, quitting smoking or drinking pop or unhealthy habits. You could just pick one and do. You got to start somewhere, man. I encourage you guys to try to do something. I'm not the type to sit there and wait for some New Year's resolution. That's procrastination for me. If there's something you need fixed and you know it, do it and get to it. We're not promised tomorrow. Yeah, it is a daily walk. Everything is. Much love and God bless to all you guys out there. All of you guys that need it, call upon the Most High. I hope He touches you, blesses you, helps you. Most of all, He accepts you and your soul for doing good bidding here in this life. And you make it through this test, because that's really what it's all about. Surviving the second death, if you will. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to take us out of here with a little bit of exit music, and I look to be back here on Wednesday. Same time over here, and it'll be right here on YouTube. Friday over on Rumble. Still streaming the Kick, X, D Live. Yeah. Prayers for everyone out there that needs them. Hit me up, dabu7@yahoo.com, if you need to get something to me. Make sure to follow me on X as well. Tag me over there if you need to. All right, guys. Taking us out of here.